one, but I think it'll be a lot harder to make that type of thing happen on this type of track. But we'll see if he can do it. We'll see if he can do it. He did it literally the last race, Halo 3, just throughout the night. Oh! Big collision there. And it didn't. And what happened here? Going to look at a replay. Oh, Slaunch having issues. And Soul just speeding by. Oh, no. And I believe this is going onto the white flag. And the mid-air, the rare mid-air collision happens. And here comes. They make contact there. And first and second place, wrecking to the finish line on the white flag lap. What a way to enter the end of this race. And now we go back to the normal speed. And with that cheese tragedy on the final lap, Luke will take the win. Hello everyone and welcome to HRL TRS Season 6 Grand Finals race number 6 at Reinhart. Taking a look at the points going into this race. As you can see, a bit of a points lead is developed between Luke and Real Dill. At the last race, Luke taking the win, Real Dill having his worst finish of the night. Not going to help him out that much, so it's really important that in this next race we're going to be watching that Real Dill gets a good result and tries to bring this points battle back in his favor. We're going to be taking a look at the track here. This track, as you'll be able to see very quickly, is very cheesy. There are a lot of cross sections, a lot of collisions, and yeah, there's definitely potential for this one to be pretty brutal. As you can see there in the lineup, Roman had the pick for this race, so that far right side on the front row is where he decided to start. Let's take a look at everybody else. Turkey in his cheese spot as always. Nades out. The cones get cheesed a little bit, and we're going green and into the pallets. There we go.
Oh yeah!
Oh yes. One of the greatest starts in HRL history. Potentially the greatest start in HRL history. The pallets at the finish line working exactly as I envisioned them. No, not really. But yeah, it was pretty cheesy. Definitely some classic TRS experimental cheese in that start, but you know, it kind of evens the playing field a little bit, brings everybody side by side. Oh well, it's a little unique. Oh, and look at this, the actual pallet line. 3 drivers try to break through, and it does not work. It does not break for 3 drivers on the first lap. That is a total troll. Not intentional. It should have broke. I don't know why it didn't. But yeah, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. So we'll see if somebody else decides to give it a shot at some point later on in the race. But yeah, so the pallets causing quite a bit of commotion early on. Nice hits right there. A few drivers getting involved in that early collision. But yeah, you could just tell with this track, there's so many cross sections to worry about. There's a lot of straight up collisions, like the merry-go-round, like quick collisions, and then there's a lot of cross section collisions where you have lines that are not really close to each other, just blending in and crossing with each other. So there's a lot of potential for cheese in this track. I'm really curious to see how this race plays out, because it's weird, because I think this track does have a bit of a skill gap, and I think you can make up time, but at the same time, it's also pretty hard to pass. And again, with how cheesy these collisions potentially could be, you know, that could make it difficult for, even if you have speed, to make up time. So we'll see how it works out. Real Dill with the early... Oh, wow! That was a big one with Soul and Roman right there. But yeah, Real Dill... I was talking about it, looking at the points early on, that like he needs to perform. This is a race where he needs to bring it back, and so far so good. Leading the race and doing a great job so far. Details in second, and Roman is in third. That is your top 3 currently. Luke's a little bit further back in fourth, and then fifth is quite a bit. I think it's Slaunch. I think we just saw him at the bottom of the screen. I think that's Slaunch in fifth currently. So. Yeah, Luke and Slaunch 4th, 5th have a bit of a bigger gap, but the top 3 are still pretty close at the moment. See if there's any collision cheese here. No, looking clean so far. Maybe Turkey. Yeah, Turkey's not that far off of Slaunch either, man. Soul having some pretty bad luck. Oh, getting together with Roman again there. Yeah, Soul having a rough start of this race. And that's unfortunate for him, because, again, he had a great start to the night, and then it's been a little more up and down since those first 2 races. That being said, still on pace to having his best night of TRS yet. So things are still looking good for him overall, I would say. It's Real Dill getting by Hunter. I believe putting him a lap down already. So it must be a really rough start to this race for Hunter. Luke getting pretty close to collision range with Roman, so that could spice things up there potentially. Ooh, those guys are going to be a little close. Okay, they're fine right now. Oh, Real Deal with a bit of a mistake. Bottles up the field a bit, and Detail's not that far behind. And again, Detail's, if he wants to make the comeback, he's probably going to need at least a couple wins here in these last few races to get up there to the podium spot in the points. So if he gets up there, I'm sure he's going to try to get the win here as well. Take a look at them going across to the finish line. Oh, Roman gets cheesed. I think Roman got cheesed by Real Deal, and then Luke got collected with Hunter right there. Flew 1,000 feet. Yeah, so now... Oh, Detail and Roman are in collision range. And Real Deal's gap for the lead is opening up a bit. But yeah, Luke's tracked down Roman quite a bit. Oh, and that collision with Soul again is going to help him even more. And now Luke's going to go by, get into podium position, take that away from Roman. And that's not what Real Deal in the lead wants to see. He wants him to finish as far back as possible. So not good news for him. Oh, another big hit. I think that was actually second and third. I think that was Detail and Luke in that one. So now things are really close for the podium spot. Detail, back to Detail, Roman, and Luke 2, 3, 4. And they're very close with each other. And they have Hunter in the mix to spice things up. Okay, really close. Wow, multiple collisions that were close on there. And Roman gets slowed down quite a bit. Many hits there, but yeah, Roman definitely got the worst one, I think. And Real Deal there for the jump, putting Soul a lap down and still leading the race. Oh, what is this pileup over here? Take a look. Oh, okay, I think it was Real Deal in Detail. I think it is first and second. Oh, Live Nate on the track. Watch out. But yeah, I think first and second got involved in that one. Okay, Roman and Hunter and Soul. Even more contact. Absolute cheese fest here in the podium battle. And yeah, that hit Detail so hard, he's back to fourth now. He's got all the way back to fourth. Luke and Roman in front of him, so he's going to have to try to get that ground back. It's going to be tough. Oh, man, he takes another big hit. Yeah, it's going to be tough with those collisions. But he's trying his best so far. Oh, man, Soul absolutely cheesing it, and maybe that'll help him out a little bit. Yep, Detail's going to be pretty close behind Roman now. That cheese with Soul in front of him helps him get some of that time back. And there's Slaunch. They're jumping over Slaunch. Slaunch still in that 5th place and just trying to track them down. But it's going to take quite a bit of work for him to do so. He's got quite a ways to go, but he's lurking along in that top 5, staying alive in the race. And it's 270. Yep, classic Luch, like midway through the video, lap count, checkpoint count, 270 or 271, I think, maybe for the finish on this one. And then the actual lap count, I think, is about 16. Detail going down there. Roman and Soul getting involved again. And Detail's going to use it to his advantage. Get by Roman. Put himself back. Oh, into the podium spot. Oh, man, Roman, multiple hits there. Getting involved with Turkey and Opix. And you can see Slaunch right there. He's starting to get pretty close. He's kind of just like lurking in the background, but it's not that far away from Roman in 4th place now. And here we're going to see how close it is. So, and now it's looking like, oh, okay, Real Deal gets collision there. I think potentially with Detail, but Luke gets collision with Slaunch as well. So, you know, maybe a slight gain, but not too much. They both had to deal with collisions. It is getting kind of close, though. The lead gap is closing in, and it could be a Real Deal Luke battle, not just for the points, but for this race win as well. And again, it's a crucial one for Real Deal to take. I think he needs these points to stay in that battle, as Luke already has a pretty decent cushion in the lead. If Real Deal could get that, you know, bonus point essentially for winning, that could help him stay involved, and, you know, hopefully some collisions happen here. Maybe he could get Luke to fall back a spot or two as well. That would also help, but there's only so much he can do about that. Main thing he can do is focus on his race, try to win these last few races if he can, and bring this championship battle back into his favor, which, again, he's doing a pretty good job at so far. He's led pretty much the entire race. If he hasn't led one of the laps, I didn't see it. I'm pretty sure he's led every lap. Pretty much been in the lead the entire race. There might have been a moment, like a slight moment, where somebody else, maybe Detail or Roman, might have had the lead for a second. But you know, even if they did, I don't think it lasted that long. And you can look at the checkpoints there, already at 170, so well over the halfway point of this race. As we go on board with Luke, and it's getting close. It's getting close. He's not that far off. And I think we may have a lead battle brewing here. But it's just going to take some more time for him to get this ground. And maybe a collision as well could help. But he's been slowly making gains. Real Deal had a great start. He's been leading pretty much the entire time. Luke is more so towards the mid-pack. And just working his way up and getting closer and closer. And now is really close, just a couple goose lengths behind, almost to the bumper. I would say, okay, here we go, Turkey. Oh, that could be cheesy. Okay, they get around. They get around. And look at Detail on the side here. Okay, nothing yet. But looks like he could be pretty close on that collision with them. Something to watch out for. And I think it's third place. I think that's Detail in third. Again, Roman's still back and forth, so it's crazy that they're in collision zone with third place at this point. That just goes to show Luke and Real Deal have a pretty big gap now. Okay, here we go. Yup. Wow, Luke just barely gets through the middle right there. That was really close. Definitely could have put this race in Real Deal's control, but just barely splits the D between those two drivers. It was insanely close. But again, Detail pretty close as well in that collision range, and we saw for a second there Roman and Slaunch. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. Like, it's just inching lap by lap. Oh, nice little last second swerve there out of Real Deal to dodge that one. Oh, close with Turkey. No cigar though. It's clean at the moment. Maybe some collisions here. Okay, no, we're good. And it's just slow gains, slow gains. And Luke's just lurking his way back up there, and again, now he's right there again. Right to the bumper of Real Deal. The lead battle just brewing this entire race. Oh, Detail getting right through the middle of it. And they avoid him yet again. We'll see how many more times they can pull that off. As Real Deal's trying to deal with lap traffic, he's got optics to deal with right now. And that might bring Luke back into the fight again. And it's so close. It's just a goose length or two. It is so close between these guys. Oh, Hunter. Oh, he gets him a little bit. He gets him a little bit. And that opens it up. We have a lead change. Luke takes it over Real Deal, but he goes a bit wide, side by side. It's going to be really tight through here. Real Deal has the run back to the inside. And the invisible wall. If it wasn't for the invisible wall, I think they actually could have made it through clean. And there it is. Detail gets the collision there with Real Deal and gives it back to Luke. So many little lead changes there. Back and forth. Collision there with Luke and Hunter again. And oh man. That collision with Real Deal and Detail might be it for him. Unless Luke can get collided with as well or make a mistake. And that was really close with Slaunch. So I don't think it's over yet. There's still so many collision zones every lap that you have to pass through on this track. I do not think this race is over. I think we might be going to the white flag right here, by the way. I think this might be white flag. And there it is! There it is, the slight collision with Detail and Luke. And not as bad as the one that happened with Real Deal, but just enough to give Real Deal the edge. He gets back in the lead. Again, I believe it was the white flag lap, the timing on that, but he does have Hunter to work with. The lap traffic, can he get by him clean? He does. It looks like Luke will be able to do so as well. Halfway through the lap, they're running out of time. Luke going for it on the inside, not going to work. Again, not that much time left. We're past the point of collisions. He's going for it right to the bumper. Can he get the run to the inside? They're bumping through it. He cannot. One more time through the collisions, and he's not going to get cheesed. Real Deal will take it, and Luke will take second. A really close lead battle all the way to the end. Great race, and look at this. Slaunch, meanwhile, while all that has been going on, Slaunch has gotten up to third. He not only did he get by Roman, he got by Detail at the very end as well, and Slaunch clutches out a podium. right at the end. Detail takes 4th. Roman takes 5th. What a finish out of Slaunch there. What a race. I don't know how he pulled that off, but just little by little, staying focused, staying composed, and just, I think right at the end, was able to get back in that podium spot and take another podium. It's absurd how many he's had on the night so far. But yeah, Slaunch continuing what's been a pretty solid night for him so far. Hasn't been able to find the win, but he's been in contention multiple times, and he's been very consistent and around the podium. It's definitely been one of his best nights of the season so far, and what a time to make that happen. As we're watching some of these last lap battles with the lap drivers as well. But yeah, crazy race there on Reinhart, especially the ending. That was another solid one. Hope you guys enjoyed this race 6. Looking at the results again here, and we're looking at the points. So the only move in the points is Slaunch takes that spot over Soul. Soul with pretty rough race. Slaunch with that clutch at the end gives him those points. He takes that spot. The lead gap is a bit closer. Real Deal 8 points off now. Slaunch has a ways to go to catch up to Real Deal. Soul not too far behind him. But yeah, Slaunch and Soul, the only actual changes. Hope you guys enjoyed that race. See you in the next one tomorrow.
Thank you for watching, and as always, this is your boy, Scooby. Fight.